What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today we're going to be talking about how Johnathan Issac will be a huge X factor for the Orlando Magic, and we're going to jump right into the video. Now, the first thing I want to do is remind you guys of how good Johnathan Issac really was and why he is still filled with so much potential. And I think he still has a lot of potential because he still has youth on his side. He's only 24 years of age, and I believe he should be able to get a lot of his athleticism back. But looking at him coming out of college in his early years in the NBA, I was really fascinated with him as an NBA basketball player. And the first thing that catches my eye is his elite size. He stands at 6'11", and he has a standing reach of 9 feet, which is off the charts. And then looking at his game, I think he had so much potential on both the defensive and the offensive side of the ball. And looking at him at defense as a rookie in the NBA, he was already special because he could do so much. Now, we got to remember his size, standing that tall. We usually see players his size guard the bigger players in the NBA, but Johnathan Issac has this ability to guard a guard full court and full court press him the whole 96 feet. Can you imagine how crazy that is? This guy's the same height as a lot of centers in the NBA, and he's able to full court press a point guard. And then on the same possession, you could see him get a crazy block on one of the bigger players on the court, and his defensive presence is just ridiculous. And he's not just a great on-ball defender, but he's also actively engaged when he's not playing on-ball defense. We see him active in the passing lanes, and then also active as a help defender. He's a really good rim protector, and he does a great job at blocking shots. And there's just so many things you can do with Johnathan Issac on the defensive side of the ball. And I've seen him lock up a lot of good NBA players before he was even anywhere near reaching his full potential as a defender. And I've seen him give some crazy blocks on Giannis Antetokounmpo as well. So that defensive upside was there. Now we look at Johnathan Issac offensively, and this is why I think he has such a high ceiling, because he could reach an elite level on both the offensive and the defensive side of the ball. And we look at him offensively in his collegiate days and then his early years in the NBA. I think on multiple occasions he flashed the potential of being a consistent 3-level scorer in this league. And I think if he stayed on track and never got injured, I think one day in the NBA he could have definitely averaged 20 points per game. And looking at his skill set on offense, he could do a little bit of everything. He could knock down the 3-point shot, he could get to the mid-range and knock down the mid-range shot, and then he can also get to the rim and finish with both hands. And with a player like Johnathan Issac, with his size and length, there's so many things to love about him. When you have a guy that size that can put the ball on the floor and create his own shot, that is a win for any team. And Johnathan Issac showed the ability to do that on multiple occasions. He has the crossover to his game, he has the hezzy, he's good at changing directions and changing speed, really good hip mobility for a guy his size. And then also another thing to love about him when it comes to his height and his length is going to create a lot of mismatch problems. If teams want to go with a smaller, quicker defender to try to stay in front of Johnathan Issac, he's tall and long enough to be able to shoot right over the top of them. And then if you want to pit a bigger player, a taller player with a longer reach, and then you risk Johnathan Issac blowing right past that player off the dribble. So he's going to create a lot of mismatch opportunities. And then also he's really effective without the basketball in his hands. He knows when to be in the right spot at the right time. He serves as a lob threat. He's a great cutter, knows how to finish around the rim, and then most importantly, he can knock down a wide open catch and shoot 3-point shot. So there's a lot to love about him offensively, and honestly it's really hard to talk about him because the injuries just stopped us from saying something great, in my opinion. But like I said, he still has youth on his side, and the only thing he can do now is look forward. And with what the Orlando Magic have been building these last couple of years, I think Johnathan Issac has the potential to be a huge X factor for them next season. Now, when we say he could be an X factor next season, what I mean by that is that if he comes back healthy for the Orlando Magic, I think he could have a huge impact on this season. And something that's very intriguing to me about this team is the front court that they have. They have 3 guys that's 6'10" and up, and that's Paolo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr., and Franz Wagner. I think all three of those guys are so skilled, and I think something that they're missing is a lockdown defender. So I'm thinking potentially a lineup for the Orlando Magic. It would be one of their guards, and then it could be Markelle Fultz, it could be Cole Anthony, whoever the Magic think is right to go with this lineup. Me, I would probably lean towards Cole Anthony, and then you could go Johnathan Issac, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, and Wendell Carter. And there's a bunch of reasons why I think this lineup could work, and one reason is that they will have two ball handlers on the floor. Paolo Banchero, he's known for his scoring ability, but he also can create plays for other and handle the basketball. And then you will have another ball handler in the point guard Cole Anthony, who can score from all three levels and also create for others. And then you have a guy in Franz Wagner who can score the ball from all three levels, doesn't need the basketball in his hand a lot, he cuts effectively, and when he does have the basketball in his hands, he makes some pretty quick and effective moves. And then you have Wendell Carter, who's going to be stretching the floor for the Orlando Magic, and then also being a threat on the low block. So I think there's a lot to love about this lineup. And then when I talked about all those players, one thing that I didn't bring up is defense, and I think Johnathan Issac could be the guy that ties everything together on the defensive side of the ball. And I really think he could help those four guys because he's so versatile and he can guard so many different positions. And then also he can serve as a threat on the offensive side of the ball too. Like I said, he can do all the simple things when it comes to scoring the basketball. He can knock down a wide open shot, he can finish around the rim, and then he's also good at transition. So that's a lineup I would love to see with the Orlando Magic. And I also think Johnathan Issac will give them some flexibility in their lineups as well. We know the NBA is changing every year, and it seems to be getting smaller and smaller. And we could definitely see Johnathan Issac play that center position. And I think he will be a perfect small ball center just because he can guard 1 through 5. He can rebound, and then he can protect the rim. And then, like I said, he can do all the simple things on offense. So I think the Orlando Magic, I think with everything they have going, Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz looking like himself, that front court that they have that I can't wait to see play, and you throw in a guy like Johnathan Issac, I think it would make them a totally different team. And this is, of course, all assuming that he comes back healthy and he can get a lot of his athleticism back. I think the Orlando Magic will be a fun team to watch, and then they will also be a very dangerous team. But that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.